Good morning, everybody. This is The Way with Ian Earhart. This is the third person that's asked me in the last 3 or 4 weeks about the Beatitudes and what they are and my interpretation of those, or what is a good way to teach that. I'd love to talk about this. But what are the Beatitudes? They're the opening statement of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. We see that in Matthew chapter 5, 3 through 12, and then we see that also in Luke 6, 20 through 23. Each begins with blessed are. Okay? The Greek word for this, because it's written in Greek, right, the New Testament, right, is makarios, and it means deeply happy, flourishing, and favored by God. Okay, that's blessed are. But we go to the list in Matthew chapter 5, focus on that one. It's wonderful how Matthew interprets this or captures this as his eyewitness account. But we start with here. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you, for great is your reward in heaven. Oh, those are the Beatitudes. Why do they matter? What's it matter? Their kingdom values, okay? Beatitudes are Jesus' definition of what the citizens of his kingdom look like. They flip the world's values totally upside down. The world says that being powerful, rich is admirable, right? That's a blessing. Jesus says, humble, pure, persecuted are blessed. Another great thing about the Beatitudes are they're a portrait of Christ himself. Every Beatitude describes Jesus. He was poor in spirit. We see that in Philippians 2, 6 through 7. He mourned over sin. We see that in John 11:35. He was meek. Matthew 11:29. He hungered for righteousness. We see that in John 4:34. He was merciful. Luke 23:34. He was pure in heart. 1 Peter 2:22. He made peace. Colossians 1:20. He was persecuted until death. Right? To follow these Beatitudes, to follow these values, these traits of being a citizen of the kingdom, is to reflect Christ, right? Paramount to being a Christian. And this is such a countercultural discipleship process, right? They aren't suggestions for nice Christians. They're this radical DNA of discipleship, right? What it costs and what it means to live under Jesus' rule. They show the true blessed life, if not comfort, by conformity to Christ. Right? So what do we get out of this? Eternal reward. Each beatitude ends with a promise. Kingdom, comfort, inheritance, satisfaction, mercy, vision of God, sonship, reward in heaven. All these things lead to some great reward, right? These promises anchor us in hope when obedience brings suffering. Just find comfort in that. That's paramount to being a Christian, right? But as a confrontational word to you, if Christians, if you ignore the Beatitudes, you end up chasing the world's definition of blessing, right? Money, influence, success, safety. Jesus says plainly, if your life doesn't reflect poverty of spirit, mercy, purity, peacemaking, and even persecution, then you're chasing blessings that God doesn't call blessed. Hear me on that. Right? So, wrap this all up in summary. The Beatitudes are the constitution of the kingdom of God. This great big law, this great big document that explains and covers and pushes to the constituents of the expectations, right? The kingdom of God. They reveal what kind of person God truly calls blessed. They point us to Christ as the model, and they even challenge us to live counter to the world.